Hi there, welcome back to Spring into Math 7. I'm Mrs. Campbell, and today we're going to be doing the second part of our lesson on classifying solid figures. Let's get started. So let's talk a little bit more about identifying and classifying solid figures given views. We started talking about this in our last lesson. So we know that we can classify a solid object by drawing a net of it. And the net lets us see what shape the base is, how many sides the figure has, and whether or not it has parallel faces. We also have learned how to draw different views of three-dimensional figures. Now we can use those views to identify different solids. We can identify and classify solid figures by using their top and side views. So for example, we know from drawing pyramids that their sides are triangles. And if we look at a pyramid from the side, all we can see is one triangular face. We talked about that last time. Now, pyramids always have triangular sides, so we would know just from this one side view that the figure must be a pyramid. But what about this figure down here at the bottom? Well, that's a square. And a square is a little bit tricky because any prism could have a square as one of its views. And it could also be a square pyramid with a bottom view up, although that would not be quite as common. All right, so depending on the view, we can either be general or specific in our identification of the solid. You can see that a square is more general to work with. Okay, so now you guys try. What solid figure do you think is represented below? There's a side view and a top view. Might be pretty easy. Did you come up with a cylinder? Because that's what it is. A cylinder has a circular top and base, and the side face is a rectangle. Imagine you would have to imagine it unraveled, so to speak. All right, let's also talk about how to use views involving unit cubes to draw solid figures. So we can use cubes called unit cubes to help us draw different views of a solid figure. This is a way to build a solid figure. This is where we're going to begin to see some of the dimensions of different solid figures come into practice. So here's a unit cube, this green figure here at the bottom, and this is going to be the building block that we're going to use for our drawings. Okay, so here's an example. The question asks us to draw the top view of a rectangular prism, and the dimensions are 2 by 3 units. So to draw this figure, we're going to use cubes. And we know that the top view is 2 by 3 units, 2 times 3, 2 by 3. And we take the cubes and build the view of the rectangular prism that represents the top row of cubes that would form the complete figure. So what if we knew all the dimensions of a rectangular prism? Could we build it then? Yes, we could. So to know all of the dimensions, we would have the length, the width, and the height. Then we would use cubes to quote unquote build different views of the figure. So here's the example. Build a front, top, and side view of a rectangular prism that is 2 units wide by 3 units long by 4 units high. So the top view would show the width and the length, like the figure shown there. And then next we would build the front, and it's going to show the length and the height of the prism. You can see it's 4 and 3, 4 for the height and 3 for the width. And then finally we would build the side view, and it's going to show a width of 2 units and a height of 4 units. All right, everyone, that just about wraps it up for this lesson. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.